Welcome, everybody, to the College Basketball Preview Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Today, we're going to look at tonight's matchup between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Right now, Ohio State's favored by 8 to 8.5 points. Iowa's 13-7 in the season. They're coming off a close win over Penn State. But Iowa has struggled on the road this season. They've had some massive losses by a lot of points, and that comes because defense travels. And the problem with that is Iowa doesn't play defense. The Ohio State Buckeyes are 11-8 on the season after a huge upset last Tuesday against Purdue. Normally, you would say this is the perfect time for a letdown. But when you look at this Buckeye team, they've had almost a week to kind of digest that win, to get over it, and to move on. This is a huge game for both teams. Iowa 13-7 is in desperate need of some quad one wins to have a shot at the NCAA tournament. Ohio State has some. They've beaten Kentucky. They've beaten Purdue. They've got a few good wins here. They're 11-8, and they need to start a win streak right now. Now, the Hawkeyes ended a 3-game losing streak last Friday night at home, beating Penn State 75-74 Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Hawkeyes had 4 players in double figures in this game, and they won their third single-digit game in 7 tries. Now, when you look at this team, Owen Freeman and Drew Thewell led the Hawkeyes offensively with 16 points each against the Nittany Lions. Freeman also grabbed a game-high 9 rebounds. Josh Dix had a solid night for Iowa as well with 11 points and a career-high 8 assists. Peyton Sanford rounded out the double-digit scoring with 10 points and added 7 rebounds. Right now, Iowa is number 1 in almost every scoring category in the Big Ten. And they are between 14 and 18 in every defensive category. Now, Ohio State returns home riding high after a huge 73-70 upset win. The Buckeyes fell behind Purdue by 17 points in the first half, but straightened themselves out defensively to take control of this game. Micah Parrish led the way with a career-high 22 points. Parrish scored 17 of his 22 points in the second half. Devin Royal returned from injury to score 16 points and grab 6 rebounds as well. Bruce Thornton had an all-around big night for the Buckeyes as well with 11 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Now the Buckeyes shot over 50% from the field. Ohio State is now 3-5 in the Big Ten. They need this win. And they've got some key injuries. You got Austin Parks, Braylon Nash are both questionable. Kalen Etzler and Michi Johnson are both out. Iowa's relatively healthy, but Cooper Koch is questionable. Now, the Buckeyes have had nearly a week to digest this upset win. The Buckeyes have lost, I think, 2 or 3 games in a row at home, but those were against really good teams, except for that aberration against the Indiana Hoosiers. Now, Purdue offensively plays similarly to Iowa. All right. And they made a concerted effort, the Buckeyes did, to get out on the perimeter to slow down the Boilermakers. And that will be critical in this game against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Peyton Sanford has to have a big game if Iowa wants to have any chance to win this game. But Owen Freeman and the guys underneath have got to really control the paint also. My problem with this is Iowa just defensively is not very good. Offense has not really traveled that well for them on the road this year. Just look back at the UCLA and Wisconsin games. So 8 points is a lot here. 8.5 points is a lot here also. But I think the Buckeyes get this ship straightened out. I think the Buckeyes win this game. I think we're about to see Ohio State maybe go on a little bit of run to try to make an NCAA tournament bid, because if you could beat Purdue at Purdue, and you could beat the Kentucky Wildcats, I think that was at Madison Square Garden, you should be a team that can qualify for the field of 68. So when we look at that, I'm not a huge fan of either coach, but I think with this game being at Ohio State, Iowa's coming off a tough overtime win, close win against Penn State on Friday night. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to side with the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm going to take them to cover to 8.5 points. I'm going to go to BetMGM, our top-rated sports book for betting on college basketball. Bet the game there. You can click on the link in the description down below if you're watching on YouTube. If you get a chance, guys, and you got a chance because you're sitting on YouTube right now, hopefully, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You can follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Check out thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.